Hey YouTube friends, I'm back in the garage to start the second project in my series of trying to repair and upgrade my Infiniti FX35, and this time I'm going to be working on the Liftgate struts. And as you can see, the struts are not holding the liftgate up as it should. I think they should come up on its own. So we'll see how much time and energy it takes to replace the left and right liftgate struts. I actually started this once before, and I did the wrong thing, so I'm telling you this so you don't make the same mistake I did. When you buy these struts on Amazon or anywhere else, you can buy just the strut, or you can buy the strut with this bracket and the other one that's hidden under here. I would highly recommend that you buy the strut kit with the bracket. On this particular car, you cannot remove this end from the brackets without cutting it off. And if you look at mine, you can see where I spent probably 45 minutes with a Dremel tool trying to break this loose enough to peel it off, and I didn't have any success. I saw one article about a guy who did manage to get these off. He had to take all of this off anyways and put it on in a vise on a bench. And if you're going to do all that, I think while you're here, you might as well just replace the brackets. Another really important piece of this job is that while you're working on the Endgate, because the struts will be removed, you better have some way to hold it up so that it doesn't come down on you, because it's heavier than you think. So I think I'll be able to get this ladder in here, and that should keep the Endgate from crashing down on me once I remove the lift strut. Here's the new parts I bought, and it's 2 lift struts and 4 brackets. Haven't even had these out of the package yet, but hopefully they match the factory brackets. There's actually also a Phillips head, and I'm just going to use the socket because I think it'll be a little faster. And that bracket just came down pretty hard, and fortunately it didn't crush my head. One side loose, at least one half of one side loose. So I've read a little bit about this online, and this particular piece I think is the hardest part of the entire project, getting this piece of plastic loose. So let's see what it takes to remove this. The next question is it possible to peel this back enough to get these bolts loose without actually taking this plastic off? And I'm always going to try the easy way before I try the hard way. So I'll see if I can get these 2. There's one. And I think this is the time to use the screwdriver, because I think I can hit it. Yeah, I will have saved a lot of time on this project by not removing this piece of plastic and reinstalling it. That's the right, and that's the left, and that's the right, and that's the left. And I'm going to reassemble these before I try to put them on the car, because I think it's much easier to handle the brackets. That was much easier than I thought. All I had to do was press it in place. So that's the upper left. And here's the lower left. I didn't look. I assumed all of these bolts were the same. But there's actually 2 different sized bolt heads that go on the upper and the lower. So definitely the bigger washers go at the car. I say the top, but it's on the car body side, and the smaller washers go on the liftgate side. So I'm glad I looked at that. My plan is to put the lower bolt in first, because it should be easier to get to, and then I'll worry about this upper one once I get the first one set. I admit it would be easier to install this bolt if I could see what's happening, but I still think the time saving of not removing this plastic is well worth it. So once you get it started. That one seems to be bottoming out. I don't know, they're the same length. While the video was stopped, I was fighting with getting this upper screw to start, and it turns out that by using a smaller number 2 screwdriver, I was able to get the screw head aligned better. I think it was just misaligned before and it was trying to cross thread. But now, both of these brackets tight. And I think once we tuck this plastic back in its place, this side should be done. Well, let me try this by hand. Maybe if I can start it by hand. It just keeps wanting to cross thread a little bit. Same problem I had up here. I hate to force it. I definitely don't want to rethread my bracket on my car. Okay, I'm going to take a break for a second. As you saw, I have one bolt over there that keeps wanting to cross thread, so I thought the smartest thing to do was step away for about 5 minutes and drink half of this beer. This right here is the guy that's giving me trouble. I grabbed a nut driver. I thought maybe it would help me to steer that bolt into the hole. I feel like with enough torque it would go, but it would probably strip out that body mount. You know, it's kind of like it's going in. I feel better about it. Maybe it was just half a beer that was required to make this work. Maybe I'll use this screwdriver just so I don't over torque it, but it's definitely threading. It's not, it doesn't feel cross-threaded. Part of it's just the weight of this door is holding pressure against the screw head. I would say that this side is done. Now we're on the passenger side. It should go much quicker because we've already done it once. So let's remove the old brackets. That didn't fall all the way. There it goes. It's sitting on the ladder. Hopefully we can have the same success here. Go for the big number 3. There we go. So, one strut is about removed. Well, to look back, since I've only done this once, so the long side goes on the top, and I just had to push that on, and then the shorter bracket goes on. I keep calling this bottom and top. When I say bottom, I mean the door side, and when I say top, I mean the body side. And I was able to just push that on, and sounds like UPS is here. Maybe they're bringing me more toys. I'm going to take a quick break, see what's coming in, and I'll be right back. Nothing too exciting, some wipes that my wife ordered. So we'll have to wait for more toys. The big toy from China, I know, is probably still 2 weeks away. So let's continue with this. So again, the wider washer goes on the body side, which is the longer bracket, and I'll put this little retaining clip on here so that I don't have to hang on to that bolt as I'm trying to find it, which is much more important here if you're trying to peel this plastic back. And now let's see if this one's any easier. Move the camera around here so you can see how this works. Well, I intended to show installing this and the camera was paused, but I'll go ahead and show you the close-up. These went in super fast. There's 2 bolts, they're under this plastic. I just lifted it back. I did not take it off. I think once this thing relaxes with heat and the door's closed, that'll come back to shape. So now it's time to do the door side. So let me move the camera and we'll do that real quick. Hopefully it goes on as easy as the other side. I noticed this hole is slotted and that one is round, so should probably put the round one in first so that I have some room to adjust on the slotted. And you definitely have to hold the door up while you're doing this. But with the new strut on the other side, it's certainly easier because the strut is helping a lot more. Now, that one threaded pretty easy. Let's see if this one goes in. Come on. Trying to be ginger so I don't cross thread. Look at that. Okay, so the right side is just the easier one because of luck. And I'm going to get the big number 3 screwdriver just to tighten that. I could use a socket, but I don't want to over torque it. And I don't think it's probably coming loose. And now the door is holding itself up. So one thing left to do is to test it. So let me move the ladder out of the way and we'll see if this works. Now that I've finished the repair, I'm going to close it once kind of slowly, especially at the end, just to make sure that nothing's binding. Seems okay. And I'll close it normal. And now let's see if it's working. And much better than before. I think that's it. In about 2 weeks, hopefully, my new head unit should be here from China. I talked to the guy last night, and I'm going to make a video all about that purchasing decision just because it was kind of interesting for me. But that's it for now. Hope you watch more of my series on the FX35. If you saw my wife's Mini, which is right behind the camera, maybe when I get done playing with this car, we'll do something with that. But thanks again for watching.